Hi there, this is Pete. Thanks for watching the video. We are in Northern Ireland and it's my first ever visit to Northern Ireland. So do watch the video and find out what we experienced and what we thought about Northern Ireland. We're going to be going to some interesting places including Belfast and Londonderry / Derry. I hope you do enjoy. If you do, give us a like and do consider hitting the subscribe button. Any comments you've got, send them in. I'd love to read them. Thanks again and do enjoy. Well, I'm pleased to say that we are in a city with a very contentious name. The official name for the city is Londonderry, also known as Derry, also known as Legendary, which is my favourite. Also Stroke City, Londonderry / Derry, the Maiden City, the Music City, the Walled City. So before we left for Derry, we booked ourselves a tour because we wanted to go to some of the Derry Girls filming locations. We booked through derrycitytours.com and we felt very lucky because we had a tour with a young lady called Charlene, and she's the manager of Martin McCrossan Tours. Her dad, Martin, started tours in Derry, I believe about 30 years ago, and she is very experienced. She was punctual, she was so enthusiastic, so knowledgeable, and she really made a fabulous day for us, showing us around the Derry sites.
But you'll notice in season 3 of Derry Girls, you know the way Claire actually moved to Siobhan? You know the way when they were on the train and she was left behind?
Yeah.
That was all filmed separately. Her filming with Bridgerton clashed with the filming for season 3 of Derry Girls. It's a season 3 especially really focused on our city, our people, our culture. So Halloween, for example, being one, this city was given the official title of being the #1 Halloween destination in the world. So the fact that they put that into Derry Girls, that really shows you how we are as people. That's a huge celebration here in the city. But roughly 100 years ago, that was Thornhill College, the Catholic school run by nuns.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's said that a nun still haunts this building to this very day. So this is Artillery Street. At the other side we have Pump Street. We're going to be going to Pump Street as well. That's a big Derry Girls reference, you might remember.
We were drawn to this city. Now, we met Charlene at the Derry Girls mural, and that's located on Orchard Street. So for that reason, I'm going to call it Derry. And the mural was put together by a not-for-profit company, UV Arts. And it's on the side of the Badger's Bar, and you can't miss it. Yeah, as you enjoy the video, you'll be seeing lots of Derry Girls references, lots of places where you may recognise from the TV series. So yeah, do look out for them, and maybe drop us a comment with the ones that you've picked up on. We were so lucky with the weather in Derry. We had nice sunshine, a bit of blue sky, and the very brightly coloured house you can see in the background there on the left. That's definitely a house that appears in one of the episodes. Maybe you know which one it is. Yeah, I popped into Very Clever. It's definitely worth a visit. A little independent shop in the High Street, well, in Bishop Street.
He became the only person in the whole world to have won the Nobel Peace Prize, the Gandhi Prize for Peace, and the Martin Luther King Prize for Peace.
Wow.
So that's him there, so that's John Hume. And his peace prizes are now on display in our city hall, the Guildhall, which is right by where I'll be finishing your tour as well.
Okay. Anything Derry Girls related, and lots of other stuff as well. Do be aware, a lot of the independent shops we found don't open until about 11 o'clock. Not saying all of them, but one or two we found. We thought might be open at 9 o'clock, but they weren't. Yeah, the Yellow Yard, well, you could spend a good couple of hours in here. It's a massive market, if you like. Retro, records, posters, clothes. It just goes on and on and on. So don't give yourself 10 minutes, give yourself an afternoon if you can, just to browse. It is excellent just wandering around this place. And of course, another one of those places you might well recognise from one of the Derry Girls episodes. Worth also saying about Charlene, the tour guide. She's a born and bred Derry girl, and she's a blue badge tour guide, so she's highly rated, and she's met many of the characters, the actors from the TV series, so she definitely knows her stuff.
Joint 18th birthday party. So Erin wanted literary greats and Orla wanted monkeys. Yeah. So it was literary greats and monkeys. But then not only was it their joint birthday party, but Ma Mary then decided that she wanted to try and split the cost. And she joined the birthday party with First Communion. Yeah. And then when she ate... Because we do use we to describe absolutely everything. It doesn't necessarily mean small or little. Now you would say, we'd say, I'll go get a wee bag of chips. Remember the chippy run, and they couldn't decide how many bags of chips they had. They ended up getting 7 bags or something in the end, didn't they? Yeah. So, but we say a wee bag of chips, it doesn't necessarily mean a small bag. And you say a wee pint of Guinness, it's a regular pint of Guinness,
Whilst we were there in Derry, it was the Maiden City Festival, and it was basically what we saw living history performers, reenacting characters from the past, and song and dance and entertainment. Towards the end of the video, I'm going to give you a tip if you're visiting Derry and you love the Derry Girls. Who doesn't? Then there's one place that you must visit. So do listen out for that towards the end. If you do nothing else in Derry, just spending time walking along the walls. It's a great way to get some lovely views of the city and the surrounding areas.
So Mary told Erin that Toto was run over by a police Land Rover and dead and buried in the backyard. Now they're making their way to school then that morning. Erin's still devastated, making their way to school that morning. They walk up here and they see what they think is a doppelganger at this stage of Toto run round Bishop's Gate here alongside soldiers. And Erin says, "Is that Toto? Is that Toto?" And she starts going, "Toto, Toto." Toto runs away, runs down the hill, round the corner and into the chapel, and we're going to follow those footsteps of Toto now. So the chapel where they run into is St. Columba's Long Tower Catholic Chapel, just over here on the left. Now it's not the interior of that chapel. You see them running in, but they use the interior of a chapel in Belfast. Right. All there. See the countryside? Yeah. Wow. So we're now fully surrounded by Donegal, so it is over to the right. It's at the back of that hill and it's over to the left. Oh, wow. So when you see in the episode when they're going on their holidays and it looks as if it takes them all day to go over the border, you're literally there in 2 minutes. That's just for television purposes. They stop for lunch and everything. Remember your man? because she was separate all the time, and then she missed her bus or lost her bus ticket. But then eventually she went to Jenny Joyce's party. She put out the electric to try and get everybody from the party from Jenny Joyce's up to Erin and Orla's, and they all come up around here. And at the front, so you see there's actual like a camera coming from where we are now, looking at everybody from the party coming up. At the front of that party you have Claire, then you also have Brona Gallagher, who played Trudy in Pulp Fiction.
One thing you'll enjoy about Derry if you're going yourself is it's a very compact city, very easy to just grab a map and walk around. And of course that's often the best way of seeing some of these cities is on foot. It's definitely good exercise for you walking around the streets of Derry. Some very steep streets to climb. It does get the old heart beating walking up and down some of the streets in the city centre.
Well, sir, are we friends or are we foes?
And we also eat mice, rats, cats and dogs.
Oh, nice.
It was the leading industry for many years. We were the shirt making capital of the world. 1926, at its height, there were 44 working shirt factories in this city at one time. The largest one employed 8,000 people. So they were big operations, not just small operations, but today we've one. But this is where that strong female presence of the city comes from the shirt making industry, because long before it was normal across the rest of the world for the women to go out to work, it was the women that were going to work in this city long before that was the norm everywhere else. So that's where that strong female presence that you see in Derry Girls, where that comes from, that strong Derry attitude that we all have. So that's why they're here beside the original Derry Girls. This is where President Clinton addressed the city. So, and Derry Girls. James stood up here, shouted down, I'm a Derry girl. Yeah, so when Orla's registered to vote, she runs into the Guildhall, and she runs in and there's a statue of Queen Victoria, and Orla says, all right, Vicky. So if you do go into the Guildhall, it's free admission, open to everybody. You'll see that statue of Queen Victoria.
Yeah, we'll have a look,
Yeah, and look at her closely, you'll notice she has no hands. The Guildhall was bombed in 1972, and they decided that they weren't going to repair the statue of Queen Victoria. They thought at that time, you know, it might tell a story one day. And certainly it does today. Yeah, it does. So you can go into the Guildhall. Remember, in the Guildhall as well is where you have the peace prizes.
This is the Peace Bridge that crosses the River Foyle, and I think it's the third. I know it's the newest bridge in Derry. I think it's the third bridge across the River Foyle, and its intention is to, I believe, to improve relations between the east and the west banks of the river. The length of the bridge is 235 metres, and it's for pedestrians and cyclists. It's a type of suspension bridge, but it's supported by two sloping pillars, and apparently they symbolise the two communities coming together. It's a very nice walk across the bridge. Very pleasant, pleasing to the eye. It's a nice looking bridge. I think I'm right in saying that the bridge isn't straight purposely, because I think it's intended to symbolise that, you know, the road to peace isn't always straightforward and takes twists and turns on the way. So my thoughts on Derry, I found the people that I met very warm, very welcoming, very friendly. Everybody I met was friendly, and very proud of their city as well. And I must say, I'd go back quite happily any time to revisit. I thought it was a lovely city, really enjoyed it. Now, I said I had a tip for you if you're visiting the city. And that is, if you're a Derry Girls fan, you must visit the Tower Museum. It's very close to the Guildhall in the city centre. You'll find it very easily. And they've just added what they call the Derry Girls Experience to the museum. Now, I didn't film inside, but I went in and I loved it. Lots of things going on. I'm not going to give anything away though, so do enjoy it if you're going to the city. Definitely worth a visit. Very reasonable to get in there as well. Thanks very much for watching the video. I do hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, you know what to do. Consider subscribing, hitting the subscribe button, and give us a like, send us a comment, and hit the little bell that will notify you of any other videos when they're released. Thanks again,